Manuel UGARTI to Chelsea is definitely very close, closer than ever before. Hello everyone, and thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, and make your point subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've definitely got to bring you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related, right about here at the Chelsea chapter with me, your host Abu Kals, as we definitely talk sport, as we talk whatever you need to know in the sporting world right about here at the Chelsea chapter, more especially if it is Chelsea related. You definitely know that things are going on quite well for the club Chelsea as we speak. Chelsea have had a new manager, that's Mauricio Pochettino, who's well known for his excellency. He's been at Spurs when Spurs has not been the best of clubs, but he's helped Spurs up. He's also been at Paris Saint-Germain and also managed quite well over there. And right about now, Mauricio Pochettino definitely is now officially a Chelsea football manager, and he's looking at different ways he can change the club from what it is. And some of the things he's definitely said, he said he needs three key football players. He said he needs a goalkeeper to start with, then he needs a midfielder, and then he needs a top striker. And definitely that is a very good thing to start with. And he said he wants, in particular, midfielder that he wants a defensive midfielder, and then a striker. So he needs a center forward for a striker and a good goalkeeper. So it will be remembered that Mauricio Pochettino is one of the best managers of his time, and he's really proved himself. And one of the football players that we are talking about, but mainly actually the football player we are talking about, is none other than Manuel UGARTI, who is a brilliant football player. He's a very wonderful one, and he's proved over time that he's definitely a good one. As a defensive midfield, of course, we don't expect him to score a number of goals, and he's got no goal. But he's managed to score to play in the Premier Liga, which is in Portugal. He's played 25 games in the Premier League in some 2021, some 2022, and made 2 assists in that season. And also he's managed to play 31 games in some 2022, some 2023. It will be remembered that Manuel UGARTI is an Uruguay football player who plays as a defensive midfielder for Premier Club Sporting and the Uruguay national team. UGARTI came through Phoenix's youth academy, being promoted to the first team in 2016. In December 2021, he joined a Portuguese Premier club, and that is Famalicão, and he's been playing there before he definitely moved. He's played when he was at Famalicão, he played quite well and was definitely spotted by Sporting Lisbon. He was first in Phoenix and in the Uruguayan Primera Division. Then he went to the Taça da Liga, and that's where Famalicão is definitely, and he went to Sporting Lisbon, which is in Portugal, and that's how he's managed to be a top target for many clubs. And Chelsea, having seen Mauricio Pochettino, has been trying to see this gentleman and how he plays, and definitely he's a very good one. He's talented football player, one of the best defensive midfielders, and he's a very good one. He's a very brilliant one. So you can definitely see that Chelsea's one of the things about Mauricio Pochettino, about what he said he definitely needs a big wipeout. He wants to get rid of very many football players, so the system is definitely going to change. Todd Bowley wanted a system where he's building for the future, but I don't think Mauricio Pochettino is going to wait for the future. He wants results there and then, and that's what any club definitely needs. He wants direct impact. It's no messing around. He wants results there and then. So Manuel UGARTI, definitely we need to see, as Chelsea is more than interested in signing this gentleman. There are a few things that have come through that we definitely need to talk about Manuel UGARTI and him joining, as it could be a different strategy under Mauricio Pochettino. he's gonna be given quite almost every power. He'll be making decisions on his own, as we've been told that one of the clauses that he had to sign with the boss himself, Todd Bowley, the co-owner of Chelsea, is he should run football business, and let Mauricio Pochettino run the management bit of football. Should they mix things? So we hope that it's going to go on quite well. We think it's going to go on quite well with the football players at Chelsea, defensive midfielders at Chelsea, and also midfielders as a whole, you can definitely see the midfield section when you see a football player like Hakim Ziyech, very good one. Very good midfielders in there. Conor Gallagher also is a very wonderful one. But it looks like they do not lie into the types of football players that Mauricio Pochettino wants. And the fact that Chelsea spent over 600 million of a small period of time. FFP rules are saying you cannot spend more than you earn, and they've got to sell. And that's why we're going to be seeing quite a big number of football players going, and that goes in favor of Mauricio Pochettino, who he does not like to play with a big squad. He wants his squad sizable and manageable. We've seen it at Spurs. We've seen it at Paris Saint-Germain. Mauricio Pochettino is a football manager that is going to be messing around with quite a lot of young kids. No, they are selling them. Most of them are going, because you can't tell me Chelsea ending in the 12th position with all those football players. 44 points, 11 games won and 11 games drawn, 16 games lost, and that is Chelsea. The number of games that were lost are even more than the number of games that were won. I mean, Chelsea was going for relegation. Things were that bad. 12th position. It was just 5 games away from relegation, 5 games away from relegation. When you see Chelsea having 44 points and Leicester City that was relegated as 34 points, you can see it's not a big gap, it's not a big difference, So, of course, things have had to be done. Football players have to be sold. Your favorite football players. We could be seeing a lot of football players, because it's proof that whatever Todd Ball is building is not working. Because if you're building, it should be maybe in the 8th position, in 5th position. You're building, you've failed. And when you've failed, a good club, when it's building, it should be in the 8th, 9th, 7th position. Then, so next season you have room for excellence. You go in the 3rd, 4th position. You're struggling for you want Champions League football, and after Champions League football, you're aiming at the title, but the 12th position isn't the best of positions, is it? So we could definitely be seeing Manuel UGARTI joining Chelsea, as Mauricio Pochettino has been out of work for some time, but right about now he's back as Chelsea manager, and he wants Manuel UGARTI, but quite a big number of clubs are interested in him. PSG also was interested in this young gentleman. So we could be seeing a bit of a struggle between two clubs, between Chelsea, that wants this gentleman so bad, And we could be seeing Paris Saint-Germain also getting on board. It is said that Paris Saint-Germain has already had a few talks with him. And the fact that £60 million is what is available. That's his market value, £60 million. That's what the Premier League club Sporting has said. They need 60 million. Actually, not 60. It's 60 million, not pound. It's euros. 60 million euros for him. But if he can go to Chelsea and perform, then why not? But Chelsea should revise its wage bill. And also the person who makes these contracts, Chelsea technical director, should be fired. I don't know whether he's still there. I think he was fired because you can't make all these mistakes. You can't make all these mistakes. So Chelsea FC is pleased to announce the appointment of Christopher Vivell. He joins immediately as new technical director of Chelsea FC. That wasn't bad. How do you make such mistakes of signing all these football players at 8 years? 8.5, 7.5, 5 years. Doesn't make business sense, neither does it make football sense. You need a mix in between there. You just can't do it. It's not the mode of play, it's not the way. Even when you're building, you can't buy that young football players. It's not young football players. You need a lot of experience. Chelsea needs quite experienced football players. Players like Ilkay Gundogan from Chelsea, from Man City. Ilkay Gundogan is now a free agent, and I think Chelsea should try and get him because they're in a worse situation than any other club that want him. So I definitely think it's going to have a big impact. But MANUEL UGARTI and him joining the club Chelsea could be a waste of time, if at all. Mauricio Pochettino doesn't use him. He should play first team football for that amount of money because it's £60 million. $60 million actually, not even, is it dollars or euros? $60 million, $60 million, I think. That is quite a lot of money, and it's quite expensive for him to come and sit down. First team football is what he should be doing. If you're not sure about a football player, don't sign him. Don't. So MANUEL UGARTI is definitely a good one, very wonderful one, and we think things will go on quite well for him as he's interested in joining the Chelsea Football Club as a defensive midfielder, and as Mauricio Pochettino is looking at getting a good goalkeeper and then a midfielder, defensive midfielder, and also get in striker, center forward, who could be Victor Osimhen. Could be seeing Onana has been linked to Chelsea. Then MANUEL UGARTI in the mid-section defensive ways, and then Victor Osimhen that line could definitely change the club for better results. As we wait for the finals of finalizing of UGARTI, MANUEL UGARTI, let's hope everything will definitely go on quite well. Otherwise, thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, and make your point subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've definitely got to bring you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related, right about here at the Chelsea chapters. Thank you and goodbye for now.